Buying new is supposed to mean no problems, full warranty, peace of mind. Yet many brand new cars are becoming money pits before they even feel old. Not because they're worn out, but because they were never fully proven. Here are 9 reasons why, counting down to the one that costs owners the most. Number 9. The warranty that doesn't cover your life. Most buyers assume a warranty means protection, and on paper it does. Parts get replaced, labor gets covered. Problem solved, right? Not exactly. What the warranty protects is the car. What it doesn't protect is you. Think about it. When your brand new vehicle breaks down, the dealer fixes it for free. But who pays for the tow truck when you're stranded 40 miles from home? Who covers the rental car while yours sits in the service bay? Who reimburses the missed workday? Nobody. Repeat dealer visits pile up fast. Even when every repair shows $0 on the invoice, you're still paying with your time. A warranty protects the car. It doesn't protect the owner's life. But if you think warranty gaps are frustrating, wait until you can't even get the car fixed. Number 8. Dealer backlogs that make new cars unusable. Here's something most new car buyers never consider. When a brand new model hits the road, dealers often don't have the parts to fix it yet. That sounds backwards, but it happens constantly. Manufacturers rush vehicles to market while their supply chains are still catching up. The car is ready for sale, but the replacement components haven't made it to dealer shelves. When something fails early, owners discover that the replacement part is on back order. Weeks pass, sometimes months. Meanwhile, the car sits, and the owner keeps making payments on a vehicle they can't drive. Picture this. You buy a new SUV. 3 weeks later, a sensor fails. Nothing major, but the car won't run properly without it. The dealer apologizes and explains the part won't arrive for 6 weeks, maybe 8, they're not sure. Loaner cars help, but they're limited. Not every dealer has them, not every customer qualifies. And even when you get one, you're still not driving the car you're paying for. A car doesn't have to be broken to become a money pit. It just has to be unusable long enough. And if you think waiting for parts is bad, one tiny module can shut the entire car down instantly. Number 7. A single module failure that shuts everything down. In many modern vehicles, one small electronic box controls critical systems. The immobilizer, the body control module, the gateway that connects everything together. When it fails, the car can't just drive a little worse. It can refuse to start. It can refuse to unlock. It can shut down completely. No limp mode, no bypass, no warning. Many new cars don't give you the luxury older cars did. One module failure, and you're calling a tow truck from a parking lot, wondering how a 3-week-old vehicle could leave you completely stranded. You're not dealing with a worn brake pad or a failing belt. You're dealing with a computer that controls whether your car functions at all. Older cars degraded, new cars shut down. But sometimes the real problem isn't a failed part. It's that the right part doesn't exist yet. Number 6. Early owners who become unofficial test drivers. Every new model goes through testing before it reaches dealers. Engineers run simulations. Prototypes log thousands of miles. Quality teams inspect every system. But nothing replaces real-world use. And real-world use only happens after customers take delivery. First-year production parts lack the long-term data that comes from years on the road. They've been tested in labs and on tracks, but not in rush hour traffic in Phoenix during summer. Not in Minnesota winters with road salt and potholes. Not by families who load the cargo area to capacity every weekend. When problems surface, manufacturers make revisions. The part that failed in your vehicle gets updated. The next batch rolling off the assembly line includes the fix, but your car shipped with the original version. That's why early adopters often find themselves returning to the dealer multiple times for the same issue. Each visit brings a revised component, an updated fix for a problem that wasn't fully understood when the car left the factory. Sometimes the fix doesn't exist yet when the car is sold. You're not just buying a new vehicle. You're volunteering to help the manufacturer figure out what breaks first. And when multiple systems share the same components, a simple repair becomes anything but simple. Number 5. Consolidated systems that multiply repair costs. Engineers love efficiency, and in modern vehicles, efficiency means combining functions. One screen handles navigation, climate, audio, and vehicle settings. One module controls headlights, door locks, and security. One sensor feeds data to multiple safety systems. That consolidation saves manufacturing costs, but it multiplies repair costs. When a single component controls many functions, replacing it means recalibrating everything it touches. A cracked infotainment screen doesn't just need a new display. It needs software reinstallation, ADAS recalibration, and hours of labor. What used to be a quick swap becomes an all-day repair. Here's a real-world example. Your backup camera fails. Simple enough, right? except that camera feeds the parking sensors, the collision warning system, and the surround view display. Replacing it means recalibrating all of those systems. Labor hours stack up, repair bills climb. Older cars had separate components. If the radio broke, you fixed the radio. If the climate control failed, you replaced that unit. Each system stood on its own. Simple problems had simple solutions. Modern cars don't fail more often, they fail more expensively. A single point of failure can cascade across systems, turning what should be a minor repair into a major expense. And by the time owners discover these problems, the reviews have already moved on. Number 4, reviews that can't see problems in time. And this is where buyers get blindsided, because no review catches this. When a new model launches, reviewers test it for days, maybe weeks. They evaluate acceleration, handling, comfort, and features. They publish their verdicts. Buyers make decisions based on those first impressions. But initial quality isn't the same as long-term dependability. Software bugs don't always appear on day one. Some only trigger after certain conditions are met, after specific mileage thresholds, after hundreds of start cycles. Electronic gremlins take months to surface. Mechanical wear reveals itself gradually. By the time these problems become patterns, the review cycle has moved on to the next shiny release. The journalists are testing next year's model. Nobody is going back to update that glowing first impression. Owners are left dealing with issues that never appeared in any review, problems that only emerge after thousands of real-world miles. By the time problems show up, the spotlight is gone. And when those problems do appear, they leave a permanent mark on the car's record. And this is where most buyers realize something is very wrong. Number 3, service history that kills resale value. Every warranty repair gets logged. Every dealer visit creates a record. And when it's time to sell or trade in, that history follows the car. Buyers see a vehicle with multiple service visits and assume the worst. Was it a lemon? Is something still wrong? Why did the previous owner visit the dealer so many times? It doesn't matter that every repair was covered under warranty. It doesn't matter that the problems were fixed. What matters is the perception, and perception drives prices down. Trade-in offers shrink. Private buyers hesitate. Dealers lowball because they know they'll have to explain that service record or discount the price to compensate. Some owners discover their car lost thousands in value before it hit 20,000 miles. Not from wear, not from accidents, just from the documented history of things going wrong. A car can lose value even if every repair was free. The warranty covered the parts. It didn't cover the reputation. But the real cost of unreliability isn't measured in dollars alone. Number 2, downtime that becomes the hidden cost nobody calculates. When people think about car costs, they think about payments, insurance, fuel, and maintenance. What they don't calculate is time. Time spent on the phone with service advisors, explaining the same rattle for the third call. Time waiting for parts that were supposed to arrive last week. Time arranging rides when the car is in the shop. Time sitting in dealer waiting rooms watching the minutes tick by. Then there's the stress, the uncertainty of not knowing if today's fix will actually last. The distrust that grows every time the check engine light returns. The mental burden of planning your life around a car that might leave you stranded. You stop trusting the vehicle. Every highway trip comes with doubt. Every strange noise triggers anxiety. You start keeping the dealer's number saved because you've called it so many times. Missed work, canceled plans, rescheduled appointments. The cost isn't just financial, it's the constant friction of owning something that should make your life easier, but keeps making it harder. A money pit isn't just what you pay, it's what the car takes from you. And all of these problems trace back to one fundamental shift in how cars are built and sold. Number 1, new cars that shift risk onto buyers. Modern vehicles are more complex than ever. More electronics, more software, more integrated systems that depend on each other to function. A single vehicle might contain over 100 electronic control units, millions of lines of code, and sensors monitoring everything from tire pressure to lane position. At the same time, development cycles are getting shorter. Manufacturers push new models to market faster than before, often while still refining the technology under the hood. Competition is fierce. Delays are costly. The pressure to launch pushes vehicles into showrooms before they've accumulated the real-world testing that used to be standard. That combination creates risk, and increasingly that risk falls on early buyers. Older cars had redundancies. If one system failed, others kept working. Drivers could limp home. They could diagnose problems themselves with basic tools. A failed sensor meant a rough idle, not a dead vehicle. Many new cars eliminate those safety nets in the name of efficiency. Systems depend on each other. When something goes wrong, it goes wrong completely. There's no limping home. There's no quick fix in a parking lot. There's just a call to the dealer and a wait for the flatbed. First-year buyers absorb the uncertainty that used to be worked out before cars reached showrooms. They discover the problems that testing missed. They pay the price of being first. Sometimes the most expensive car isn't the one with high mileage. It's the one that hasn't been around long enough to reveal its flaws. And here's the bonus tip we promised. One that can save you from learning these lessons the hard way. Before buying any new model, check how long that specific generation has been in production. First-year vehicles carry the highest risk because real-world problems haven't surfaced yet. Second- and third-year models benefit from revisions and improved parts. Here's the thing manufacturers don't tell you. They don't announce these updates. They don't issue press releases about revised door seals or updated software. They just make the changes and ship better cars without saying a word. The car built in month 18 is often meaningfully different from the one built in month 3. If you can wait one model year, you let other buyers work out the bugs. You get the same car with fewer surprises. And you avoid becoming an unpaid test driver for problems the manufacturer is still learning about. Check forums, read owner complaints, look for patterns. A little research now reveals what showroom visits never will. A little patience now can save you thousands later. And there you have it. 9 reasons brand new cars are becoming money pits before they even feel old. Which one have you experienced? Share it in the comments below. Your story might help someone avoid the same trap. And if you found these tips helpful, click here for our next video where we break down the warning signs your car is giving you right now before it strands you.